Hey guys, I'm Michelle, and I'm the founder of Conversations with You. October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. I am here to share my survival story, but I would not be naming any names of the person that was my abuser. Anyone that was in high school with me know who this person is, but I'm not going to give him the satisfaction of me calling his name in this video. Well, my situation took place back in high school when I was in 11th grade. Thought I met Mr. Wonderful. Turned out he wasn't so Mr. Wonderful after all. We did the typical things that teenagers do, go out to school, have pizza, ice cream, go to the park, things like that. Well, didn't realize we were in the honeymoon phase. So as time go on, just really excited, let me wear his favorite jacket and things of that sort. And then the shoe fell. We walking in school. Anybody know me? I have a very bubbly personality, so I'm speaking to my classmates. Hey, how you doing? Kiki, all that type of stuff. Whether it's a guy or a girl, I'm gonna speak. Well, I was being disrespectful. Don't disrespect him. Don't do that. This person. I don't understand how am I disrespecting you. You must want them. You always smiling in their face, and I'm just like, no, that's not true. I was speaking. Well, how many times a day are you going to speak to them? And I'm looking like I'm I'm not understanding what you're speaking of. Okay, that went by. Okay, so something else came up that he didn't like, and I was being disrespectful. One thing about being in a situation like that is that you're being groomed into something and somebody that nobody knows. You don't even know who you trying to be groomed into. You don't even know there's a grooming process, but it is. And it slowly starts to happen, and you don't even recognize what's going on. So as time go on, your makeup, there's always this makeup phase. And then next thing you know, there's always the trouble stage, the stage you just never want to come back. So there was another incident. And this time, I'm not sure if anybody in the hallway was paying attention by this time. You grabbing me by my arm, but you're making it look so lovingly when really you feel like you're piercing a hole in my arm, and you're gritting your teeth like, what did I tell you? Stop playing with me. And I'm looking like, who is this person? And why are you so angry all the time? Okay, things get back lovely again. You overlook it because all you want is the good times. You want to feel all the good feelings. At that time, nobody spoke about red flags, so that was just a big giant red flag in itself. But me being in the 11th grade, didn't know any better. So then next thing you know, now being up north, we didn't ride the school bus. We walked to school. So where I lived probably about 15 minutes from the school. Where he lived about 30 minutes from the school. So now you want to walk me to school. And I'm like, oh, I feel so special. You thinking, okay, your boyfriend's going to walk you to school. But little did I know that was part of control. I didn't realize that. You walked me to school. You walk me home. And that made me feel safe because I'm like, okay, he walking me to school, he walking me home. Okay, fine. Well, one day we went to his house. Um, he ended up walking me back home. I don't understand, or I can't remember what made him so upset. Next thing you know, he's pushing and he's shoving on me, and I'm like, "Well, what is going on? And you need to stop. You're hurting me." So an older gentleman saw what was going on, and he was like, "Hey, young man, if you don't stop, I'm gonna call the police." He's cussing the man out, telling the man to mind his business. And I was telling him that he's being disrespectful because you're disrespecting your elders. So now he's cussing me out, and then he turns back to cuss the man out. So by this time, I'm trying to make my great escape. I'm trying to walk as fast as I can to get home. Next thing I know, he's running up on me. He's pushing and shoving. You being disrespectful. You just gonna leave me there with that man? And I'm like, sir, you're the reason why the man was ready to call the police on you. He ain't gonna call the police on me because I didn't do anything wrong. Okay, so we get to my house, and I'm just like, I'm over this. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that. It's always the makeup phase. Okay, so it's the next day. Everything is going good until it wasn't. So later down the line, I become pregnant. Now let me go back. I had already had one daughter. She was one. So now I'm pregnant with my second child. Like they tell you, there's two times that a woman is definitely in trouble. It's when she becomes pregnant and when she's trying to leave. And I have to tell y'all, that was the most stressful, scariest pregnancy I've experienced that no woman should have to experience. I mean, to the point it just really caused my stomach to hurt all the time because I was so stressed. During that time, you're supposed to gain weight. I'm losing weight. My hair is coming out. It was just all bad. So one particular day, he gets upset and he's walking me home. So now I lived in a 10-story building, but I lived on the 8th floor. So by this time, he's just like, I'm tired of you disrespecting me. You're going to start treating me like the man I am. And I'm like, sir, we the same age. What are you talking about? So by this time now, I just wanted to get away from him. So next thing I know, I up and I run. I run down the hallway, me not thinking run down the stairs. I ran up the stairs. I ran up on the roof. He chased behind me. He's all up on me. He's choking me. And by this time now, I'm like, oh my goodness, I have to get back home. I have a 1-year old. I cannot allow my life to go out like this. So it was going to either be him or it was going to be me. But either way, I was not dying that day. Somehow I got away, closed the roof door. I ran downstairs. I got to my apartment. He's knocking on the door. I just wasn't answering. I was like, no, because no one was home and no one was there to save me. So I watched at the window because where my building was, I was able to face the front of the building. So I was able to see him when he left. And then next thing you know, he starts calling. So by this time now, I can't let my mother know what's going on. So I go in and I turn her ringer off so she can't hear the phone ringing because now you're blowing up the house phone. This is before cell phones. And I just didn't answer. Well, I wasn't feeling good, so I didn't go to school the next day. And my mother was like, is everything okay? Is this something you want to tell me? And I'm like, no, mom, I'm fine. Everything is good. Just don't feel well. X, Y, and Z. But of course, mothers have that intuition. She knew something wasn't right. Anybody that know my mother, no, she don't play. She would have laid hands on him. And I did not want that. So I had to pray. I had to paint a pretty picture of everything being okay until it wasn't. So time go on. Now, mind you, I'm pregnant and you're getting ready to throw me off a 10-story building. So by this time, he wanted to come over. I didn't answer the door. He's calling. I didn't answer the phone for him. So I went to school the day after. So he's waiting for me by my locker. And when I saw him, I just froze because I didn't know what to expect. Because if you're willing to throw me off a building and I'm pregnant with your child, no telling what's going to happen. So I end up going to my locker, and he's like, I'm just sorry. He comes here with these flowers, and I'm gonna do better. I never meant that. I never want to hurt you and the baby, and you mean so much to me. And of course, the cycle starts over again with the honeymoon phase. Everything is good until it's not. Well, time go on. I have my second daughter. You're trying to call the hospital to see who's up there. You're trying to control who can come and see me, but you're not there. My thing was, if you want our child to have your last name, you need to come and sign this birth certificate. He wants to tell me what to name the baby, all it. Fine. Just come and sign the birth certificate so she can have your last name. He come up there the very last day when it's time for me to go home. Okay, fine. Get past that. You not working. You not helping take care of this baby. Only one that's helping is me and my mom. It got to the point where I was working at a grocery store. So I couldn't even be great on my job because you're standing outside of my job, just sitting and watching my every move. Now I'm at the grocery store. I'm a cashier. I'm working. Why would you catch a bus to a whole nother city to see what I'm doing? I'm looking like, what are you doing here? Oh, I just came to see you. Not on my job. You don't do that. You will see me when I get off work. Y'all, by this time now, I'm just so uncomfortable with the situation. Like, I just want this to be over. Okay. By this time now, childcare is getting so expensive. So I had to end up dropping out of school in my senior year. Okay. Taking care of the baby. Next thing you know, I end up pregnant again. This is my third child I'm pregnant with. So by this time, everything's just kind of just, it's haywire. It's crazy. It's like an out of body experience because you're trying to figure out, how did I get here? How did I get here? So by this time now, my mother realized what was going on, and she was like, "Hey, he's not allowed to come here anymore." By this time now, I'm like, "Oh my goodness, how do I tell him that?" I was scared to tell him because I'm like, "Okay, what's going to happen once I tell him he can't come here and he have kids here?" So just so happened, I let him come over, and my mother came home, and baby, I was like, "Oh my goodness, I'm about to die." It ain't because of his hands, it's because of my mother. And the look that my mother gave me, I was like, listen, you got to go. You're not allowed to come back here. My mother made it clear. And no, I did not tell you because I was afraid to tell you, but you cannot come back here. Okay. Time goes on. So he figured, he would sneak over whenever my mother was at work because he knew I had to be home with the kids. So I was at home. To y'all, by this time now, I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. And I was like, I have to come out of this three-ring circus because it was too much. Raising three kids. And then I got this crazy man that feel like he want to be baptizing me like he is the bishop at a church or a pastor. This can't happen anymore. It just can't. I mean, it was so intense and just so miserable. I was stressed out. I just couldn't take it no more. So one day we're both at the window in the kitchen and we're looking outside. And something happened and something he said, and it just something rose up in me. And you know how you have the cast iron frying pans with this particular day, because you got three sizes. You have the small, the medium, and the large. We had all three. But just so happened was the medium sized one, for some reason, was sitting at the window. And something he said, and he went to poke me in my chest real hard. And I was, by that time, y'all, I've had it. So I said to him, very, very calm, but I was scared to death on the inside. I said, today is the last day. You going to lay hands on me. I said, so guess what? Today's your lucky day. You can either go out this window because I'm going to bash you in your head with this frying pan, or you can walk out the door. Those are the only two choices you have because I am over this. And guess the look that I gave him shut him all the way down. It's like you can see him just in shock. When I tell y'all, I was so scared. By this time now, he was just too calm. And first thing I'm thinking, like, oh my God, Michelle, you about to get the hell beat out you today. He got his jacket. He left out the door. So by this time now, I'm thinking he probably not gone. He probably want me to think he left. So I stand there in the kitchen and I wait. And next thing you know, I'm seeing him come out the building and I'm seeing him walk down the street. And y'all, can I tell y'all, I had not seen him until like a whole month later. To be in a situation like that is just so stressful. It's so scary. And I want parents to pay attention to their kids because this happened to young boys and young girls. When you see something not right in your kids, you question it. Don't let your kids tell you, oh, no, it's okay. No, it's not okay. Kids are not coming home. Kids are killing kids. People are ruthless nowadays. And please, 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 people, stop saying, oh, that couldn't be me. Or if it was me, I would do. Let me say this to you. You never know if this could happen to you because it easily can. You can be easily groomed into this situation. Just I sit back and sometimes we want to have a life like other people. But at what cost are they paying to have that lifestyle? Like some of them wives that have rich men that executive and they don't have to work. What price are they paying? Domestic violence don't care how much money you have. It don't care about your education. It don't care about none of that. It can happen in anybody household and you would never know because you know why? Because when you go home or when you come outside, you have to smile. You have to look presentable. You cannot let the outside world know what's going on. It took me a minute to come forth and tell my story, but I realized I never knew how my story could help somebody. And also, the seasons is getting ready to change and the holidays is coming up. That's a bad time for a woman because holidays are coming. People tend to drink more, people tend to get emotional, and things get out of hand. And during the wintertime, nobody see you as much. Life is happening. You got kids in sports. You got so much going on, so people don't get a chance to see you as much. So yes, by that time now, you're hiding scars. You're covering up black eyes. That's a bad time for women that's in those situations. So if you have a friend that opens up to you, be their safe space. Don't judge them. Don't ask them how did they get into that. They don't want to hear about, oh, that couldn't be me, or why didn't you, shoulda, coulda, woulda. Don't do that. Just be a listening ear for them. And whenever they are ready to come out of that situation, you be there for them. Because it's very scary to leave a situation because those people make you feel as though you need me. You can't not do any better without me. So if you know anybody that's in that situation, be supportive. Don't talk about them. Don't make them feel bad. Don't make them feel shameful. Be there for them. They need a listening ear. They need you to be there for them if and when the time comes. Because it's very scary. It really is. So, anybody you know in that situation, keep them in prayer. Keep them in prayer. And I pray that anybody happens to be in this situation that's looking at this video, there's a 1-800 number. I'm sorry, I don't have the number right now, but just know you are not alone. And there's a lot of my friends that have been in this situation that may not want to come forth, but they know how this situation feels as well too. They've been there, they've come out. There's life outside of that situation, but you have to plan effectively. That's why when the guy that I'm singing now, it took me a long time for me to introduce him to my friends, introduce him to my family, because at the end of the day, I had to make sure I came home safe, and it was my job to keep my family safe. Because nowadays, people they destroying families. They'll take you out, your kids out, everybody else out, and I could not afford for that to happen. Once you come out of a situation like this, you date different. You handle people different. Never let your guard down. I mean, it's to the point where you can't even raise your voice at me. You can't, your hands can't get so close to my face without me having a reaction. So please, men and women, please be serious. Pay attention to the signs. At first, it's, oh, they care about me, they love me. Pay attention. It happens so quick, and you're groomed into this situation, and then you're wondering how you got into it. Please be careful. Please be safe. I love you guys, and y'all have a great day.